Bonjour, hola, konnichiwa, annyeonghaseyo, ni hao. My name is Cynthia Chandra, and I am an internationally trained artist. I have shown my art in Japan, UK, France, and USA. My passion is to encourage artists to grow and thrive in their creative soul. This world needs to see your unique perspective. I want to give you the skills and techniques to connect you with your own creativity and the tools you need to express your beautiful soul. I donate 10% back to animal rescues to protect our beautiful world that has inspired my art. Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Cynthia Chandra and I'm here from my studio, Cynthia Chandra Nature Art for Animal Rescues. And I am doing 14 days of lives for y'all. So you can watch and draw along with me as I make some really neat drawings. Now, if only I could find out where I just put my paper, I swear I just had it at my desk. I think I have another piece over here. So you guys are going to need today is just a plain piece of paper. It can be scrap paper you might have laying around. It can be a nice printer paper. So just a piece of paper that you have. And if you grab it, then you're going to need a pencil with an eraser. Hey, Patty. Hey, Frankie. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. Oh, hey, Patty again. There's 2 Patties tonight. Woohoo! It's a Patty party. So tonight we are going to be drawing a really, really cute sloth. So I love drawing and painting animals, and I know a lot of There we go. Sorry, I lost sound for a second. I know a lot of people are a little afraid of drawing animals or drawing things that are real. So I'm going to show you guys how simple it is if you just break it down. Because anytime you have something that you want to draw, if you just break it down into smaller pieces, you'll be able to do it. It's just kind of like if you have a big task ahead of you, if you break it down into sections, maybe do 3 things at a time, say I'm going to do these 3 things today, you can get it done. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the sloth. Hopefully you guys have grabbed your pencils and your erasers. I just have regular pencils, and then I have a nice shading pencil that I might use in a bit, but regular pencils will do just fine. So the first thing we're going to draw is the branch. I guess it's kind of like a tree, a pretty big trunk of a tree that this really cute sloth is hanging off of. So we're going to make a line down the center, and trees are not straight. Trees are very crooked. They are a natural thing, so they will be curved or crookedy, so do not worry about making a straight line. In fact, please do not make a straight line. If you make a straight line, it's going to look like it's not real. And then you're going to do another trunk over here. So you're going to kind of follow along the same pattern. It's up to you if you want to take up your whole page or not. A lot of artists will kind of leave like a rough 1/8 of an inch border around their paper. And they do that because if they plan on framing it later, then the frame won't cover up their beautiful piece of artwork. So now we're going to make our head. And our head is going to be roughly about 1.5 inches oval. So if you know a circle, you can think of a circle with cutting off part of the round shape. So we're going to draw our circle first. And if you need to trace something, find a circle shape and you can trace it. Super easy. It's about the size actually of a regular cup. So if you need to make your circle shape with tracing first, you can do that. That's totally fine. And this will be up for replay, guys. So if you get behind me, don't worry. You can pause it. You can play it, rewind back and flip it. I need to learn how to say that backwards so I can sing that song, you guys. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take it and make it more of an oval shape. So you have your circle here, right? And all you're going to do is bring your arches in just a little bit so it's more of an oval. And erase your circle shape that you're using kind of as a guide. And that's going to be your head on your sloth. Super cute, right? Matt says, "Oh my God, it's Cindy! I know her! It's Santa!" Oh, I love you guys. You crack me up. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight on a Saturday night. Oh, you guys make me laugh so hard. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a point just a little bit above the head at the tree, and you're going to draw a curved line for his neck or her neck, whichever you want it to be. And that's going to be the neck of your sloth. So after you have your head shape and your neck shape, we are going to draw the cheek. And the cheek is going to come over your tree just a little bit, and the chin's going to come down just a little bit. So if you notice, make kind of a C shape here, and come down, a loose V shape here, and I come back up to my oval. And then I'm going to erase my tree that I'm covering up. Bring it up a little closer so you can see. So it's a little C shape, kind of a rounded V shape, coming back over to my oval face. And then I'm going to take and erase this line once I have that drawn. It helps to have the oval shape drawn first, just to kind of give you a guide of where the center of the face is, and a little bit of a guide for how big you want the head to be around that face. So I'm going to give you a second so you can draw those cheekers. You're going to come on the other side and give it just a little tiny cheek on this side. So you're not really seeing the whole cheek on this side. Just like a little bump on the end. Bloop. Super easy. Then we're going to make the hairline on the forehead. Hairline on the forehead, if you can imagine, comes down like this because it is a sloth. So it has a rounded forehead shape. I really hope I am not drawing on my face right now. I can't see myself. So I hope I'm not drawing my face right now. So you're going to draw your rounded shape for the head. And then you're going to come down and think of this almost like it looks like curtains. So you come down a little bit on this side, a little bit on that side. So you think of it like, shoop, a little this side, a little that side. And then you're going to erase this part of the oval that you had before because you don't need that anymore. And you're going to take this point and you're going to go to this point and make it kind of rounded. And then you're going to take this point and come down to this point, and you're going to make this one really rounded. And actually, this shape that you have here, you can make this shape, you can make a monkey, you can make an ape, you can make all sorts of primates. That's a general shape that lots of them have. All right, so we have the head, we have part of our face mapped out here, we have part of our neck. The next thing we're going to do is connect our neck to where our shoulder is. So in order to figure out where our shoulders are going to go, if you think about shoulders, when you move your shoulders, it's always a straight line. So his shoulders are like this. So we're going to make our straight line angled down just slightly. So I'm going to make my straight line here. It's about like a quarter of an inch lower than the chin. And it's right over here. Oh, I can see. Patty says, oh, I can see. Yeah, it helps to like look in the mirror sometimes whenever you're thinking about the shape of an animal. So now you see my almost invisible line I drew because I'm going to erase it pretty soon and I don't want to have erase marks on my paper. You're going to take this corner of your line is going to be where your shoulder is. You're going to take your neck, bring it down to your shoulder. So you can make this a little darker. I'm going to make it down to my shoulder and stop. And then this line is going to be the arm that comes up. So I'm going to make an arc up to my chin and stop. So we just did this line here, zoop, to our shoulder, this line here, zoop, to the elbow. Elbow. I always say that wrong. So I taught ESL for a long time, and we all have accents. We all have words that we say strangely. So I had to be very cognizant of what words I said in a strange way, because my class in Japan said elbow and color, because that's how I say color, and elbow. So you have to pay attention when you're teaching English that you teach them, I guess, not colloquial English. Oh my. All right, so I'm going to take, remember the straight line that we drew? I'm going to take and kind of mark off where his shoulder is going to be, just so I can remind myself here. You see, like it's just a little bit there. And then I'm going to erase this line. So you don't need that line anymore. All right, so the next thing we're going to draw is our arm that comes across here. It isn't this arm, this is a different arm. We're going to draw our arm that comes across here. So this comes down to an elbow, and then it comes across here. So where you just had your shoulder line, it's going to be a little bit lower than that, and it's going to be an arc. We're going to start our arc right below this point, and we're going to take our arc over to this point. So if you like to draw dots to figure out where you're going, totally fine. You're going to take your arc, and you're going to go up a little bit for the hand and around to your other point. Dun, da, da. Now, you have your shoulder here, and you're going to need to bring it down for your elbow. You bring it down a little bit lower. So if you think of it, it's kind of curved on your elbow, from your shoulder to your elbow. So you're going to take it, and you have muscles here. So it kind of comes out and in and back out again. It's subtle, though. You don't want to make him super muscly because he's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. So you're going to take from your shoulder. You're going to come out a little bit, in just slightly, and then down to the elbow. Now I'm saying elbow, all messed up because I'm thinking about it too much. There we go. So there's your elbow. Bloop, bloop. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our hand. So our hand's a little bit curved. Just a little curve. We'll draw claws in just a bit. And then we're going to follow this arc, but we're going to be a little lower, and we're going to go the whole way over to our elbow. I'm sorry. So you're going to go up a little bit, follow that arc the whole way over to your elbow. And now we can erase this tree, because the trick with art is the illusion of what isn't there, or what is there. So we're creating the illusion that the tree continues on behind the arm. All right, so this looks a little silly, right? This is a guideline for us. We're going to take this and kind of come down a little bit and make more of a pointed elbow. So come down a little bit and curve it just a little bit more. And then you can erase that line. Erasers are super helpful. They're so helpful that I have no erasers left. And if you need to curve this out more with your sketch, you can keep curving it out. If you need to make this straighter for yourself, you can make it straighter. So now I don't need to remember where my shoulder is anymore. So I'm going to erase that a little bit. And I have the sloth's arm. Okay, so we have our other arms hanging out over here. And this arm, the elbow is behind his leg, and it's coming up underneath the chin. The other arm's like this, wrapping around. So this arm's covering it up. So we're not going to need to draw the whole arm. We're just going to need to draw the top part of it. So we're going to come over to his chin now. Kind of give a little curve over here for his other hand. And then we're making the illusion that there is a tree there. So we're erasing that line now. And the next thing we're going to draw is part of his feet. We can't see his feet, they're wrapped around. So we're going to draw his little foot out a little bit and down. And I'm going to show you how to make this line here. So you're going to come down and make an arch down to here. This is going to be his little booty, cute little booty. And then if you need to erase some of your extra bumps, you can. So I had like a weird bump here I erased. So you come out from the hand to kind of make his leg, because if you can imagine his leg's like back here somewhere, you can't see it right now. And then you're going to make his side goes down to his badonkadonk. So it's like a nice curved candy cane shape coming down here. A little candy cane shape there. All right, so the next shape we're going to make is his booty coming the whole way around here. And if you notice, if you were to draw an oval shape the whole way around, it's kind of the shape of our sloth. So if you can imagine you're making an oval or an egg shape, it's kind of the shape of our sloth. So I'm going to erase this line because this badonkadonk is behind the tree. He looks a little precariously hanging on there with just two arms. So let's fix that. So the next thing we're going to draw is his leg. So his leg is slightly curved back to here, following that hip line. So just a line here. Then you're going to come up to right a little below his paw for his leg to come up like that. So it makes a wide V shape for his leg. The next shape we're going to make is his leg up higher. So you're going to follow this line up a little higher to make his other part of the leg. You're going to come the whole way to the tree and stop. And then you're going to make his little hip shape, which is usually like a, how do you say this? It's almost like a mountain, a bump. Right there. We're not going to take it the whole way over to his other side though. Okay, so if you imagine your hips, they jut out just a little bit. So he doesn't have a flat booty over here. You're going to want to give him just a little bit of a booty, right? So come a little bit lower than your hip and give him a little bump. And then erase this line. So his leg comes down, zoop, down, up, just like that. And now we can erase our tree and create the illusion that the tree is behind him. All right, guys, I know I'm going a little fast. If you want to pause, you can pause and catch up. And if you need to catch up later, you can always watch the replay and catch up with me. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make some of our claws. There are 3 claws on each of these paws that we can see. So our claws, if you can imagine, are just triangle shaped. Sorry, you're going to see Alex drawings. They're just triangle shaped teardrops. Awesome, Patty. I'm glad you're following along. So they're just, please ignore my son's silly drawings down there. They're just triangle shaped teardrops. I think he's getting super good at making his faces. I'm so proud of him. I have no idea what that was. He's 4, so he drew Triceratops. I think Diana bought a painting from me, and I think that drawing went to her. So if you purchase a painting from me or a piece from me, you get a drawing from my son. The drawing was so good. I was kind of sad that like I had to give it away because it was really cute. So you're going to make that teardrop shape coming down, and you're going to make 3 of these. So 1, 2 teardrops, 3 teardrops. And those are going to be your little claws. There you go. 3 teardrops. The next ones aren't going to be teardrops. They're going to be more like a pointed finger, and they're going to be a little curved. So I'm going to take you line by line through this. You're going to go slightly out to a point. It almost is continuing this line here. So you're going out to a point. They're pretty long. So he has to grab around almost the whole tree with this guy. And then you're going to come back. So out to a point, come back. The next one, you're going to go out a little farther with that curved line again. A little farther. And then you're going to come back. Slightly curved on your way back too. So it looks like he's really grabbing around this tree. All right, we have our cute little sloth here, and all that he's missing is some details and his face, right? So for the face, sloths have fur that comes around like this, sort of similar to how a raccoon's face is. So his curve is going to come down and up and down. So we're just going to make the furry part that goes right here. So it's just a U, a relaxed U shape. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to make a slight U up. It's not very big. This isn't the eye. I know it looks like he has a sleepy eye right now, and it's super cute. But this is going to be where his fur comes up. And the next part is going to be coming up like this. So You made your line come up like this, and your line come up like this, and then we curved it where they meet. Now we're going to erase this line that we made earlier, our guideline we made earlier, so that the fur looks like it goes the whole way around down there. Okay, the next line is going to be the trickiest part, so bear with me. You can do this. So we are going to come over to where this point is. It's a little bit lower on the face. This point right here. Sorry, my paper was shaped weird. And we're going to draw a little bit down curve and then a little bit up curve for the eyes. Now, I'm going to show you a trick if this is too difficult for you. You can always take that cup you used earlier and think about where his eyes are here. There's always a curve on our faces for our eyes that goes a curved line across. Let me show you with a cord so you can see a little better. So the center of our eye are at a curve. So if you think of the curve kind of like this, that's how the curve is going to be shaped across the face. If you need a guideline, you don't have to use a guideline if you don't need it, but that sometimes will help so you can figure out where to draw. Okay, so we have our fur coming down and we have it coming back up to make the top of the fur here. We have our fur coming down and up over here. Now we're going to bring this side down over. It almost looks like a fish. And back up to that line that we made. So down, over, and up. So it almost looks like he has a mask like a raccoon. Okay, now the last thing we're going to draw is that smile line because they always look like they're smiling with their little chin here. So you're going to bring this line down here, just like that. And that's going to be the edge of your fur coming over. Now we have lots of extra lines. So we're going to erase this line that we made earlier. We don't need that one anymore. And we're going to erase our guideline for our eyes. So we don't need that anymore. Now, what I love about this picture is his eyes are closed. So when you draw closed eyes, it's just a smooth curve, and you're going to make them really dark. Think about your eyes. It's a little bit thicker here, and then it gets thinner. So a little thicker towards the center. Curve it up just slightly, and then thinner. Thicker into thinner. Just like our trees from yesterday, right? So cute. Look at the little arms. So the next thing we're going to draw is our smile. So make sure you erase all of your guidelines too. So we're going to draw our smile. And our smile, if you can think of it, comes down from the center of where the eyes are the corners of our mouth. So think about coming straight down from the center of this eye to make your first corner of your mouth. Straight down from the center of this eye to make the second corner of your mouth. Now, the shape of the mouth isn't a smile. It's going to be up slightly, down, up slightly. So up slightly, down, up slightly. And the reason it's shaped like that is because our face is curved backwards. We don't have a flat face. So up slightly, down, up slightly. This cute little smile with those cute little eyes. Oh my goodness, she's so cute. And I'm realizing as I'm looking at mine, I made my eye come back a little bit too far here. So I'm going to fix that. So I had my mask coming up like into his ear area, but it's more so like under his cheek. So I just brought it down a little bit. It's totally cool to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. That's why God made erasers. Okay, so our next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw his nose. And his nose, again, is an oval shape, but it's not quite as flat. It's going to be a slight oval. Think about Mickey Mouse's ears, slight ovals. So we are going to go just above his lip to just below our old guideline for our eyes. And we're going to make his slightly flat oval nose. Slightly flat oval nose. So cute. So cute. Okay, so now we are going to make his nostrils a little darker, a little darker. They're oval shaped too. And we're going to think about this line that's on the front of the nose. And it kind of curves down a little bit. Down like that. Circle, circle, line that comes down like that. And then you're going to take that and shade it down. And that's going to give you your cute little nose. Dot, dot, line, shade it down. So then after that, you're going to shade up a little bit. Well, you can't really see it very well. Hold on, let me bring it closer to the camera. There you go. So dot, dot, slightly line, shade it down, shade it up, shade it up. That's his cute little nose. All right, so now we have everything drawn out, and all we need to do is add our fur, right? And then we'll be finished. So if you think about fur, if you need to look at hair or your cat or your dog, or if you have a sloth and you're the luckiest person in the world, your sloth, fur goes in many different directions, and some of it is darker and some of it is lighter. So what's going to be the trick with making our fur look realistic is making it darker around the lines that you've drawn. So take your pencil, do curving flicks with your pencil, coming back. Flick, 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 flick. Curving flicks. And then you're going to do the same thing coming down. Flick, 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 flick. And these are going to be darker, so you can press a little harder for these because you made awesome lines already. And if you make a mistake, you can always erase it. Okay, so you have your darker flicks here. And you're going to do a little bit lighter flicks now, but you're still doing that curved shape. Flick, 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 flick. Still doing your curve shapes. Thinking about how hairy your husband's arms are coming down here. Those weird long elbow hairs that he might have. My husband's Italian, so. Not that I use him for my models for animals if he's watching the replay. Don't get me in trouble. Don't tag him, please. Okay, so we have our hair, and we're making it darker which means we can come back in and do some more lines closer to our arm, and lighter the further we get towards the center. And that's going to make it look rounded, because when things are closer to us and closer to light, they look whiter, and then they get darker as it goes around. So your hair is going to be darker, and then it's going to be lighter if there's any hair at all here. Let me show you up closer. So darker, a couple layers here, even those curves, into lighter. You can barely even see my lines. And that is how we're going to do the whole sloth. Super simple, right? That's how we're going to do the fur for the whole sloth. So practice again, darker on our legs. Those curvy lines for the hair. This is like the most soothing part, I think, of drawing. It's just you can think about all the wonderful things you're going to do tomorrow, the beautiful things that happened today, how cool your sloth's going to look when you're all done. Which of your favorite children's going to get this in their room? Or grandbabies? So darker towards the end of it, and lighter towards the middle. And don't worry if your hair is going all over the place, because sloth's hair is moldy. Some of them have moss growing on them. I've seen pictures of them with tiny plants growing on them. Their hair is very unruly, so you just make it as unruly as you want to. Kind of leaving this part whiter here. You can see that. And then I'm going to do the badonkadonk. Darker, lighter, darker curves, lighter curves. If you're not catching up with me, totally fine. Take your time. This is the fun part, guys. If you feel like it's getting too crazy, you can always come in and erase it. Try again. So one thing I always find interesting is that whenever you are drawing or painting or working in clay, where you start, your lines will be different from where you ended because you're practicing as you're drawing. So my lines here are much more succinct and nice than my lines were over here because I've been doing this and I'm doing a repetitive motion. Pretty interesting, I think. So you can even see your own improvement in just one drawing. And if you look closely at like master's drawings, we'll notice it too. It's pretty funny. Okay, so back here behind this leg is going to be a little darker because the sun is shining down. So where there's sunlight hitting, there's a shadow behind it. See my shadow over here? So we're going to make it a little darker here and a little darker between the paws because he has that rounded shadow. And we're going to come down here and do the same thing. There's a little bit of a shadow under his leg. Shadow. And we're going to do a little bit of a shadow on this tree. Shadow. And a little bit of a shadow underneath his arm. A little darker. And then a little shadow underneath his head. And a little one underneath his arm. There. Makes it look 3D, right? Pretty nifty trick. And there is a little bit of a shadow here behind the tree as well. All right, so continue to make these lines we already drew darker into lighter. I'm going to keep working the whole way around the body. Darker into lighter. Darker into lighter. Darker into lighter. I'm going to change my direction up over here for the shoulder. Go up. That's my curves. Thinking about his arm being rounded. Making candy cane shapes for my, so up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then remember, we're going to want to make these little curves around the edges darker, just so we can see the outline of his fur. And the belly has hair going every which way, because who knows how long he has bed hair for. Can you imagine having bed hair all over your entire body? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is the fur on the head. And if you remember, our heads are round. So when we're making our lines, we're going to make them round. Still going with that round shape. So you want to start in the middle. You can remember to be rounded like a football helmet. Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry. I don't even watch football. Okay. So we're going to keep going with our fur around the side. Going to make it a little lighter on his face. Cute little Slothy. I love on the movie Zootopia. So I have a son, so I watch all the cartoons. I also watch them when I didn't have a son because I just like drawing and I think it's an art. But anyways, so when we were watching Zootopia, I love the part with the sloth. He's so cute. He's so funny. All right, so keep going with our rounded shapes on our rounded heads. There we go. He's so cute. Can really see him like coming together here. Okay, now we're going to come back into our mouth, make it a little bit darker so we can really see that line. And we're going to do a couple of light lines with that same shape near it to kind of echo it and give it his lips. So I made this darker here, and I echoed it with some lighter lines right next to our darker line. Okay, so most of our sloth is good. The next texture we're going to work on are the fingers, or the claws, and claws are smooth. So you're going to take your pencil, and you're going to leave your tips white. Take your pencil, very gently, all the same direction. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your finger and rub over it, and that'll make it smooth. Same thing down here. If you have a tortilla is a rolled up piece of paper. You can buy them with drawing kits. You can also do that. Most artists don't like to put their fingers on paper because if their paper is archival, which means it won't yellow or fade over time, it doesn't have acid in it, and your skin has acid in it. So if you put your oils on your paper, those fingerprints will be there for life if you're planning on putting this in the gallery at some point. But I always touch things with my fingers, except for paintings that I'm selling. So this is just for fun, so I can use my fingers as much as I want to. We were talking today, because I've done some glass blowing before. I don't like glass blowing because I can't touch it. It's so hot. You're not allowed to touch it. And I kept trying to touch it. I'll have to show you some time. My first thing I made in glass, it's a shot glass. It's curved like this. I'll have to bring it next time so you guys can see. It's curved like this, and our joke in college, because I made this in college, was that if it looked straight, then you were done and you were cut off. Okay, so this is a paper birch tree. So for paper birch, we take some dark lines, and then we wave it out. Take a dark space for a line, and wave it out. Dark space, and wave it out. And the reason why paper birch have these dark marks, some of them are more shaped like eyeballs sometimes, is because as it grows taller and taller, the branches fall off and they leave their mark where the skin was slightly different. So if you want to make that eyeball shape, you can. Makes it look a little bit more like a birch. So fun. Dark, taper off. Dark, taper off. Dark, paper off. And now you're going to take, and remember, a tree is also curved. So you're going to give them some darker curved lines. Really make the tree seem solid enough to hold this bear. Because if you look it up here, it looks pretty flimsy. And you don't, a bear, I said bear, a sloth. You don't want the sloth to be on a flimsy paper tree. You want them to be on a pretty solid looking, thick, lined tree. Okay, and once you're all satisfied, you can always come back later, come back tomorrow with fresh eyes and look at it. If you wanted to add brown coloring or green in there, you could. If you want to come in and do those lines on the paper birch really faintly here, you can totally do that just to add some more texture in there. If you want to curve his face with some texture, you can do whatever you want to. But always remember to be proud of your work, no matter how well you think it looks. Be proud of what you made. Be proud you took time today to work on your art, to have some time just for yourself, and to focus on your self-care today. So make sure, as a proud person, you sign your piece. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to sign up for my 10 classes for $10 coming up. And I hope to see you tomorrow night at 10. Woo-hoo! All right, everybody, have a lovely night. I would love to see your pieces. If you want to email them to me, I would love to, or email them, message them to me, text me, I don't know, however you want to send them to me. I really appreciate you guys. I'm so thankful for you watching and for sharing and for commenting. It means so much to me that you support my business and my family and the animals. I hope you have a wonderful day. You continue to be kind to each other, and you continue to be your wonderful artistic self. Bye, everyone. Have a great